Hey guys, what's up? Mark, Jamie, Missy, Lil 2, Vanima, Moonbeam. Hey, cool name. Cool name. Michelle, Victor, Sparky, what's up, bud? And my kids. Cool, cool. Hey, you gotta be about them kids, man. Tab, what's up? Britt, Arizona, Mark Matheny, Daniel, Amos, Darcy, Queen, Benjamin, Kim, George, what's up? Jamal, Annette, two Annettes right in a row. Walters and the Paul. Vanima, I think I already said something to you. Good name there. Yeah. Sherry, Lori, May, Tommy, Brenda, Andy, Russ. Good to see everybody here, guys. Yeah, we got a pretty, got some stuff going on. I'm still sick. You can probably still hear me. I'm still not feeling real well. Matter of fact, I'm feeling, actually, believe it or not, a little bit worse than I was yesterday. I don't really feel a whole lot, but I'm glad I get notifications from you. I don't on some of the others, Dutch especially. Yeah, guys, he fights that a lot. Hey, Rip, what's up, buddy? Yeah, it is. I'm not so sure about Super, but yeah, it's Wager's World. Russ, I said hi to you. Rick, Melody, God's Israel, Arizona. Glad you're here. Thanks for being a mod for me. You too, Rip and George. James, Monica. Okay, guys. Annette, thank you. I appreciate that, Annette. So yeah, guys, I hope everybody's doing well. A lot of stuff going on today. There's some news and stuff going on with CERN and all that. I don't usually like saying that word, but I don't care. I just want my video to get out. I don't necessarily, look at the views and stuff. I mean, I do just to see who's watching and all that. But I don't judge how successful a video is or anything like that by the amount of views I get. I look at that for one reason. That's to see if it's getting, out there to where people can see new stuff. That's why I look at what I do there. But with that being said, we are going to, what's CERN? It's a melody. It's probably, well, I'm not sure if it's the biggest. It's the most popular, well-known, high-speed particle collider. It's a very, very powerful thing. And yeah, we'll talk about CERN here in just you know what, guys? I'm going to wait just a second before we talk about CERN just to get everybody in here because it's a pretty big story going on with that right now. So while we're doing that, I'll go ahead and Christine, thanks for being in here, guys. All my mods, thank you so much once again. You guys rock. Third Time Productions. Hey, Canada, all right. Love my Canucks. Hey. Yeah, I know, you probably hear that a lot. Fred, what's up, John? Okay. Anyway, I am going to go ahead and do this because I can sit here and talk to you guys all day, just chit-chat. But you know how that is. But I am not feeling very good, guys, so I'm going to try to stay, if I start jumping around a little bit, that's why. But before we talk about CERN, we'll go ahead and do a little bit of an update here on what's going on with, space weather and stuff, because there's stuff there to talk about, too, and to show you guys. Anyway, Schumann resonance, guys, everything's still just kind of, I don't want to call it normal, just inactive, I guess, is what we could call it. It's not so much, what it used to look like, because it's never going to look like that again. Just so everybody knows. This is a new norm. We're working into something, and believe it or not, CERN probably has a little bit to do with this, if not a lot. But what we're doing here, you get a spike here in the hertz level that can affect, ringing in your ears. And I went into this multiple times. If you guys really want to know the technicalities behind what we're looking at as far as this graph goes and what these lines actually represent down, to a technical level, go check out Verte's channel. Always link him in my description and stuff. Verte Arbustos. Hopefully I'm not butchering his last name there. It's Verte Arbustos Human Resonance Harmonics is what he calls his channel. Pretty long name, but it's there. And Verte, it's probably pronounced birthday if you're going to get technical like that. His name starts with a V. So those of us up here, north of the border might not. Some people might not know that. When you pronounce a V in Spanish, it's a B. It sounds like a B to us in the English language. But anyway, so it's pretty mundane right now, guys. I'm not seeing a whole lot. So if somebody else is, let me know, because I'm not seeing hardly anything there. So red auroras, okay. We're going to talk about that first because I do think there's a good reason for what we're seeing here, and I'll go more into that in just a second. But we also have a new sunspot. Okay, remember yesterday, guys, I was showing you guys this stuff. See over here? That's that active region I was showing you, and I said once it crested the limb, there was a good chance that it was going to be a sunspot. Well, it is. Okay, and it is from sun cycle 25, and I explained that yesterday too, which simply means that the polarity of it matches the polarity of sun cycle 25. I'm not sure if it's positive, negative, or negative, positive, but one would be, sun cycle 25, the other one would be sun cycle 24. It is possible to get a sun cycle 24 sunspot at the beginning phases of sun cycle 25. So that's why it's such a gray area when they try to decide when the sun cycle started. So I just wanted to point that out. But yeah, so we do have another sunspot. So you can look for this number here to drop, because this thing is going to, if it stays a sunspot the whole time in front of here, it's going to take it about a week to go all the way across. So you're adding 7 days of activity, and it's going to make that number right there drop, which means it's more active. So, that is what that is. Now, the red auroras. This is over at spaceweather.com, guys. I show you guys these guys all the time. I think they do great work. But anyway, it says, is this the new norm? Wonders, Ryan Elzine. Now, this is the guy that was showing us stuff from Finland. Okay. It says second night in a row they photographed red auroras, and it's an extremely rare event, guys. I want you guys to understand that. It's not like we've never seen them before, but we very seldom, let alone catch them multiple nights in a row. And I'll explain more here in a minute. And it goes in to say what was going on here. He's seen a green layer, but it had a red layer on top of it, which makes sense because of how these things happen. All right. Again, normally auroras are green. The verdant glow of oxygen atoms at about 150 kilometers above Earth's surface. Red auroras are also caused by those same oxygen atoms, and that's what I want people to understand. But at higher altitudes, between 150 and 500, that's a pretty big range, guys. That's a jump. But anyway, at those heights, the temperatures and density of the atmosphere favors atomic transitions that emit red photons. So at a higher altitude, it favors these oxygen atoms interacting with the solar wind to put off, the red photons. And that's what we see. That's why usually when you see these, now we've seen what they call blood auroras before, which are just solid red. There are no green. It's just a solid red sky. That's possible too, and that's a phenomenon that happens. But it said, if you keep on going right here, it says mystery solved. Not quite. Red auroras are usually too faint to see or photograph. So they come as an extremely rare field layer of the atmosphere, and moreover, as Les Callie here explains, the very slow atomic transition that produces red photons are easily interrupted. Even experienced observers rarely see them. So what is causing this, sudden riot of red 3 nights in a row? Okay, it says they don't know what's causing this. Well, I might have an idea. I'm not saying that this is the answer, but we've actually been talking about this, for a minute. Now, check this out, guys. What's that word right there say? Very slow atomic transition that produces red photons. What have we been talking about over here? Look what's going on. We got another night in a row of slow solar wind. So does that, compute to a slower atomic reaction? Possibly contributing to the red auroras. That's kind of what I'm thinking. And I'm not saying that that's 100% what the answer is, but what I will say is that I think it needs to be put into the conversation. I've not heard anybody say this but me. Most people don't look at this every day like we do, guys. Even people that are doing aurora, they just want to know if we're going to have, density and speed, but they want to know if we're having a solar storm. They don't really care about the specifics usually. They just want to know if we're going to, some of them probably don't even look at this kind of stuff. Some of them probably just go to stuff like this. Here, I'll show you. Some of them probably just go straight to stuff like this. Okay? Now, they're probably, they're probably a little bit more schooled on stuff like this than what the average person would be because of what they do. They look for the auroras. And, these models can be wrong, so a lot of them probably do know what solar wind is and all that. But when we're talking about the red auroras, I don't think anybody's put that together yet. If it is a slow atomic reaction causing the difference between a green and a red, wouldn't it make sense that a slower solar wind would do that? Just my opinion. And I could be completely wrong. But, that's just something I'm throwing out there. What do you guys think about that? I mean, I want to know. So the colors determine the energy. Yeah, pretty much the energy factors. Yeah, thinker. That's exactly what I'm saying here. Shiva. Yeah. Daniel, Mike, and Cindy was talking about that in their video today over Evolutionary Energy Arts. You guys should check them out, guys. I shout them out quite a bit. They're good people, good friends of mine. Awesome. Very, very caring people, I just gotta say. Might have to re-listen, Mark. That's okay, Carolyn. If you got stuff to go do, go ahead, But what do you guys think about? Do you think that's a possibility of, what's going on with that? I'm just curious, or am I just like way out there being stupid? Anyway, I'll come back to you guys. We'll go ahead and move on. But, yeah, George, sneaking in the cracks. I do think that might have something to do with why we're seeing this. And why do I think that? Because, number one, we didn't see the red auroras until the slow solar wind speed showed up. So, maybe that's what's going on. Hey, Jeff, what's up, buddy? So I do think that, if it takes a slow atomic reaction, let me, we'll go back here and look at this again, okay? If it takes a slow atomic reaction to produce the red photons, and this is a rare event, now 3 days in a row, if we go back 3 days, that's exactly when the slow solar wind started. And nobody has ever said that slow solar wind had anything to do with this. But it makes sense to me. Because the green and the red being seen here, it's the same oxygen atom. What makes the difference is the height. So, higher up in that, it's conducive of producing these red auroras at a higher level. And that's why it's very rare. But if it's a slower wind speed, I would think that would, cause a slower atomic transition. That's what this is saying. Right here. If you guys can see that. Transition that produces. And they're easily interrupted. Okay? And that's another reason why they don't see them very often. Because when they come in, when they show up, they're like there just for a split second and they go away. But, like I said, guys, look at this. I mean, when we start seeing solar wind being consistently below 300 for days in a row. I got some other stuff to add to that too here in a minute, but while we're here, check out the electron flux. Look at that. I've never seen the electron flux graph ever look like that. It should be looking more like this down here, like the magnometer graph here. It usually will, rise and fall, and then sometimes you'll see a spike, which most of the time ends up being like a flare or whatever. But remember what electron flux is. That is the difference of, it's fluxing, which means it could be going one direction or the other. It's a fluctuation from normal, what the baseline is. See where zero is? Wherever zero's at, if it's fluctuating above or below that, that's a fluctuation. Or just wherever the normal part or the normal reading would be, anything going up and down there is considered a flux. That's what that means. So when we're looking at, this up here, X-ray flux, it's the same thing. It's not telling you how high it's getting. It's telling you that it's fluctuating that amount from what the baseline is. That's what it's telling you. But anyway, you got geomagnetic activity right now too, guys. They're probably going to issue a cosmic ray alert. Okay, remember what I said. This is 24 hours now at 0. So my guess is there's probably going to be a cosmic ray alert out. And all that means, guys, is people that fly, especially up towards, the poles, south or north, the closer you get, the more that affects you. If you're a prenatal passenger, please pay attention to this, because it's essentially like going and getting an X-ray. Okay, and they don't like that nowadays because they figured out that, it can affect the baby's development. So, anybody that's pregnant like that, please pay attention. And like I said, I probably don't even need to say that, because if a pregnant woman goes to get on a plane that's taking a path up north, they're probably going to be telling you, hey, you might not want to be doing that. Because even when we're not having these low readings right here, you still get more up towards the poles. But look at the solar wind speed, guys. 278. I mean, come on. And it's been like that now, like I said, for 3 days. So yeah, I really don't have a whole lot more there. But we'll take a look at the Enlil model here. And you can see where the velocity here. Now, this isn't conducive of what we're seeing everywhere else. This model has been all over the place. This is, guys, like I said, we're about right here in time. It shows us 2 days of history. So, right here, it's saying the solar wind got to, close to 600. I didn't see that anywhere. Everything else is saying it's below 300 or below. So, I'm wondering what the heck is going on with this. Now, I know the Enlil model here, I think it takes like readings from multiple satellites or whatever, or stations or whatever they're using here, and they put an average in there. But this model, it just doesn't seem like it's the correct thing. I don't know yet. I'm still trying to figure that out myself. I just don't know why this is so different than the other ones right now. But check this one out here. Watch how intense this gets up here, the density. Watch it turn white. You see that? That's very, very dense. Look up here. See the graph down here? That's 60. That's dense, guys. It don't get much more dense than that. Matter of fact, the graph don't even allow for it. So, you take that for what it's worth. It did not hit us or anything like that. Here, I'll pause it. We'll bring it back. But do you see how close that actually is? Okay? If it shows up on here at all, on the side view, it's pretty close, guys. It's not real close, but it was in the range that if it would have waited 5-6 hours before it came off the sun like that, it could have been coming at us. That's how close those are. That's all we're talking about. We're talking a matter of hours. We're not talking a matter of days here. That's how, when things fire off the sun, that's how, direct they can be. But you can see the speed down here too. It's saying that it's high, but we didn't experience that. nobody's seen any of that. So I don't know what's going on with that model. I really wish, they would figure that out. So yeah. So yeah, guys. Butterfly wing wall hanging. You okay, Christine? Sorry you hit your head there. Wow. Yeah, Thinker, I thought about that. But at the same time, I went back and I was looking. This Enlil model, I think, actually incorporates part of its average from this ACE data. So I don't know, I need to figure that out. That's why I'm not claiming anything right now. I don't know for sure. But all I can say is, hey, thanks, man. Appreciate that. I think I got you there too. I think I got you and Scott and a few others on mine. If I've even set it up, I can't remember. But yeah, cool. Thanks, man. But yeah, guys, this is just it's crazy. I don't know what to think about all that specific thing there. So, just to go into this, we'll go ahead and we'll talk about this first, and then we'll go talk about CERN for a second. Okay. This is the Magnetosphere models. Okay, I'm going to go through here and hit play on all of them because it'll update. Now, you guys remember yesterday I was showing you the density, how we had an anomaly right here. Well, it's still there. And let me show you here in just a second. But this is the velocity. You're not going to see a whole lot. Again, you're seeing slow. See what the range is? So this is slow. This is not anything that we should be concerned about because it's not doing anything. But why are we seeing hits? Well, the reason is because number one, our magnetic field is weaker. Okay. Number two, we're in that equinox season that we see the McPherson effect, which essentially is cracks in our magnetic field. So things do come in even when it's not strong. If there's a crack there, it's going to come in. Did you guys see that right there? See, I'm going to back this up because remember the hole I showed you guys yesterday here, right? It's not happening up here. This is directional. Okay? See how that kind of developed right there? Again? Remember what I said, if you flip that on its side, it looks like a parrot. An eyeball and a mouth. Anyway, we'll move on from that. But, yeah, that even looks more so. So you can see how that the density here is more, okay, because the darker colors mean more dense. You can see how it develops here, then finally it gets flushed out. See that? So, my guess here is there was some pretty dense stuff going on here for whatever reason. Now, follow me here. Look at this. See how the density kind of increased here? And it was kind of part of that, but it also kind of snuck through here. And that's pretty normal to see, but this is not. It's not crazy or anything like that, but it's different. It's different than what we usually see. So, there you have it, man. I mean, that's just something that, we'll have to wait and see. Well, it looks like it's starting to do it again. So, I don't know why this position is doing that. And this is the only graph showing it. We can go here and look at this one, and it's going to show us pretty much similar stuff, okay? But what I want to point out here, watch how you got this little burst of energy just kind of going through, right? Watch. See how it came off the back there? Again. I mean, it just keeps happening like that, right? You seeing that? Like a pulse. And what's happening here, I think, is there is energy getting through, okay? So we're releasing it because we're a capacitor pretty much, big magnet capacitor holding energy. And when we get hit in the front, we have to do something. We can't hold it all. Now, during slow wind speed like that, that's why we're not seeing the big, huge, like, flushing effect. Like we see the big reds just kind of go from right to left on this and just wham, right on out, right? Take a big hit. But if you notice, if you look inside the satellite line here, Do you guys see the little darker color starting to creep in? That's higher. That's higher density, pretty much, or lower density. I'm sorry. So we're not having very much pressure on us, is what I'm trying to say. Now, too much pressure is bad, but not enough pressure is bad too. Let me explain. This is the pressure map, right? The pressure graph. And what you're seeing is pretty much no pressure. I've come over here before and this whole thing just be completely blue. All this light stuff wasn't even there. So this isn't something we haven't experienced before, but we very seldom do experience this amount of no pressure this close to our planet. Alright? So what I'm saying, and I've explained it like this before. See, look at this. I mean, usually we have another, you see how you got this little loop back here? Usually we get this big one here, but we also have another one right there. It's not there. We're not able to see the difference. It's still there, but we're not able to see the difference because the difference isn't enough to show. That's what's going on there. Okay? You see how that see that right there? See how it was there for a second? That's usually what it looks like. It's a little bit more intense than that usually, but that's what it looks like, and see how it goes away. So, why is low pressure just could cause problems too? Well, do this, okay? If you're grabbing a hold of something, like it's kind of like this. Everybody heard like a firecracker, right? You said put a firecracker in your hand, leave your hand open, light it, and it explodes, and not much really happens. You might get a small burn. But you close your fist around that, boom, it pretty much blows your hand off. That's kind of what I'm saying. So if the pressure is pushing out, we're able to push out more, is what I'm trying to say. We have to, our magnetic field's there, and it's holding us in a specific position. The Earth's trying to stay stable, right? So what would happen if the pressure went away? Well, we're still going to push out until we can figure out where we're supposed to be. Right? And I'm using this in terms like that. It's not like we're trying to figure anything out. It's just where the Earth is trying to stay, stable. So if the pressure's not there to kind of hold us in a little bit, what are we going to do? We're going to push out, right? That's why we've seen these little bursts coming off. Because that's what it's doing. It's doing a little slow bam, 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 right? So, what can that cause? Well, earthquakes. In my opinion, I think sometimes because if we're pushing out just as much as when we get pushed in, things move. Things are moving. So this is what we got right now, earthquake-wise. That right there is in Utah. It's in a really weird place. Wow. This one here too, guys, in Flagstaff. I think Dutch touched on that. I think there's a volcano there. He was talking about that a little bit today. Then you get that's Nevada, but this far inland, away from all the fault lines and stuff. I mean, yeah. But then we got these again, okay? And we'll talk about that here in a minute. Actually, we'll just do it now. Here's the infrared, guys. Now, you seen on my thumbnail how I said the infrared was picking up hotspots again, right? Remember, we were getting hotspots here and earthquakes were showing up. Okay, you seeing that? This is today. This is right now. But check out what's going on up here. It's spreading. Okay, remember, this is the infrared spectrum. That's why our eyeballs can't see it. You guys seeing all that spread that way? So, and then it goes away. So, this is what we've been seeing. And we had we were getting earthquakes here. Matter of fact, I just showed you another one that they had here. So, my thing here is, if it's spreading up this way, are we going to start seeing earthquakes up there too? Which, yeah, I live in Indiana. So, yeah. Anyway, but you see what I'm saying there? And I know a lot of people are on this right now. Okay, that's why I really haven't been like on it, because a lot more people that have a lot more knowledge about what you're looking at there are going to do a better job of telling you guys what's actually happening there. I don't have that knowledge yet. I'm trying to get there, get a little bit better at that. We'll look at this one here because it takes us a little further north. But you're going to see, okay, the whole state of Illinois lit up. Now, you're going to have those that are going to come out, because a lot of times when you look at these, well, we'll just do this real quick. Watch this. You go here to California, that's a wildfire. Okay? That's what this infrared typically is really good at picking up. That's a hot spot. But when I move this back and forth, you're not seeing all that other little stuff around, are you? Now, even there at the end, you can kind of see some smoke. So probably what's happening here is this is a wildfire that they probably got it under control, and it's starting to go out. And it's just intense right there in that one spot, and you're seeing just a little bit of smoke come off of it. See right there at the end? So, you know, Dutch does a really good job at this. This is where you've seen the beams coming right down into that crap. I mean, it was impressive. So, you know, not to mention that spot never goes away, okay? Which if it was a fire, it wouldn't. You know, it stays right there, and it's putting off smoke. So, but what you're not seeing is the other little, you know, blinking little black lights is what I'm calling them right now. It's hot spots, right? So if we come back over here and look at that again, okay, this is not, you know, if this was like an anomaly, something to do with the camera or the satellite itself, it would be showing up all over the place, guys. It's not. It's like right here in this area. It's following, you know, like I said, Dutch has got it about the North American craton. He's been doing a lot of research on that. He's the one that brought that to everybody's attention. And they just refuse to give him the credit for it. They won't talk about it because he did. And that's kind of what I'm saying. Yeah, they're not ever going to either. I can tell you that. If anybody should be running that place, it should be him. Just my opinion. But you can see how we started picking it up here. Why a dead spot here? Well, the craton. That's the edge of the craton. Okay? It even goes down in here to Florida. I think, I can't remember, I'm sorry I'm forgetting your name if you're in here, I apologize. But he was pointing out that he had picked up some right around this lake, right? Check it out. So I'm going to go slower. See how it's doing it right around this lake? I wonder if I can go down local here. So watch right around the lake here. See that? That black spot right there, that's a hot spot. And then it kind of just circles around the lake. So that's strange to me. Okay? That's not always there. That's what I'm trying to say. So when something that's not always there, and then it decides that it wants to go around something, it doesn't make much sense to me. It's going around this lake for whatever reason. Nothing's on it. Nothing gets inside that lake. Okay? That's strange. Sorry. It just is. But yeah. So this is where, Dutch was showing us this, and it showed up. And it was pretty cool. He did that, he showed that, and then we've seen some earthquakes. And it kept happening over and over and over again. And right now we're getting some virtually in the same spot, but it's kind of moved up this way now. So I don't know what's going on there. So yeah. Okay, now I want to show you guys this one. This is the Magnetosphere model for in Australia. Also, guys, I'm trying to expand out a little bit so I can encompass, other people's around the world. Their stuff that they got going on too. I know I kind of focus on the United States, obviously, because that's where I live and that's where all these tools are pretty much based. This one is not. This is in Australia. So when this one is reading 260, 270, and the other ones are saying the same thing, that's slow, guys. It just is. And when you get slow solar wind, you get increased density. That's just what happens. Because they're not getting flushed out. CME. We had another CME. I was showing you guys this yesterday, remember? At the end of the video. We'll take a look at it a little bit deeper here in a second. But the tracker did update. And yes, it was a CME. And no, it's not going to hit us. Okay? It's going in between pretty much us and stereo B. Stereo B is kind of right here. Well, here's stereo A. If you go like directly up, stereo B would be right there. We don't get to see any information from that one. Okay? I'm not going to go into that right now. It's a big, long story. But essentially, Scott and multiple other people were catching too much on that. And they shut it down. So, well, that's what we say. So, I'm not going to go, again, it would be just too long to be talking about. But check this out, guys. See stereo A here? See what it picked up? Now that happened just a few hours ago. Okay? So what happens is we see this. See that? We go forward roughly an hour, and then we see that. So, you know, I don't know what we're seeing there. They could be completely two different objects. I don't know. It looks like they probably would be, because this one kind of looks like it might have a tail going that way, which would mean it was moving that way. So, I'm not sure if they're related or not, but what I can tell you is that CME did pop off there. Right? You can see it like there. You see that? Now, it is kind of strange that we lose data after that. We missed, let's see here, like 9 hours. 2:54 to 11:24. Stereo A has no data. Now, if we look at SOHO, and we'll go look at seeds here in a minute, but remember I said we were getting constant flow over here, and then we get a CME right there. See it blow off? Boom. Right there. And it's ejected in other places too. Okay, so we get that one, and then we get another one up here. See that? So yeah, that's what's happening there. You know, is it something to be concerned about? No, because it's not coming at us. Okay, but it did happen, and I do want to. I show you guys that all the time, even if I don't think it's going to hit us. Coronal holes, guys, have been missing for almost a week now. Kind of crazy. I don't know what's going on, but if we look at the purple view here, the 211 angstrom on the sun. It does look like the atmosphere may be thinning a little bit on the sun here in a pretty large area. So we could look for some coronal holes maybe to appear here in the near future. Maybe not. Have to wait and see. That's the teal version, the 131. Here is the one that we typically look at first, the 171. And the reason being is because it does show a pretty good, decent amount of the gases and stuff here. Well, it's looking at the one gas, but this gas tends to be a little bit more visually able to show us what's going on. So what I'll do, now I want you guys to look right there. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. Watch this sunspot right here. You're going to see it kind of eject. See that? Alright. And then it kind of does it again. It's going through its little cycle there. Now check it out over here. Let's zoom in a little bit more. So watch this sunspot. Look how active that thing is. Okay? Also, though, you're seeing a CME over here too. This is on the backside, though. I think we're probably not going to see it. See how the energy's kind of booming off there? They're not big ones, okay? But this right here, we're going to have to watch it, man. It's already adding X-rays. I just showed you guys that over here. See how the baseline is up than what it was down here. Right now, we're staying in a B range, flare class. That's the amount of X-rays. We're essentially getting a constant flow of a level of X-rays that stays about at a B class level. So if we get any kind of, like, any little flaring, it could put us up into C. A decent sized flare could put us into M. And it wouldn't even be that far of a stretch to say, hey, if we get a pretty good blast, it could get us into even a small X. But I don't see any of that happening, just so you know. But I do think it's always possible. So let's go back here. Where were we at? This is where we were at. All right. So, you know, again, that's just something we're looking at, guys. We just got to pay attention, that's all. Again, I'm going to show you, this is the 304. And this is usually what we use to look at for filaments and stuff coming off the sun. And you can kind of see things are happening all over the place. Here's that sunspot that kind of looked like it flared there for a minute. See that? Where it got kind of bright. And this is why we look at all of them, because you can't hardly even see it on this one yet. It is kind of difficult to see. I get it. So let me zoom back out a little bit and we'll get a whole look at it here. That way we can look at the whole thing, because it's active all over, guys. Now, I would, well, let's do this. I want to show you guys. Well, no, not right now, because it'd take too much time. You know, maybe tomorrow I'll show you a comparative picture or image from 304 here in 2020. I'll go back a year, and I'll show you what the sun looked like. Well, you know what? Let's just do it now. Screw it. Let's change that to 19. Okay, it's going to load here, and we'll take a look at it and see what the difference is. All right, but it's going to be a pretty substantial difference, I would think. You're not going to see as much activity. You might see some, or it could be just as much. I don't think it is, though. You know, you go back, see, look. You could tell. Look at it. It's not even as bright. And that's what we've been saying. This is a really good way to show you guys that, you know, no sunspots, absolutely none. It's not that bright right now. We're not seeing any kind of energy. This is this is in 2019. This is the difference. So that's when we're talking about, you know, how active the sun is. This is what we're talking about. So keep that one in mind. I'll change this one back to 2020. We'll take a look at that one again, just so you guys can see the difference. Just keep that in your mind right there. That's definitely, you're going to see a big difference there, is what I'm saying. Hey, Ricky. Alfred. Hi, Alfred. Christine. Hilly Billy, what's up? Lurk, what's up, man? See the difference, guys? I mean, I'll give you a side-by-side tomorrow, okay? Because you can actually clearly see a difference when you guys look at it. Let's back this off. Alright. What we're going to do now is, guys, we're going to go look at that article. I think this is the same article that Mike and Cindy was showing on their show too. So yeah. Lurk, were you the one that was down in Florida telling me about the hot spots around the lake? I'm pretty sure it was you. It could have been somebody else, I guess. Anyway, this is CERN, guys. This was put out today. All right. Well, yesterday, I guess. Well, 13th, 14th UTC right now, but you guys can read this for yourself. You know, it's an atom smasher. People that don't know what this thing is. When they fire this thing up, we do see reactions sometimes, a lot of times. But they're talking about being able to contact and get to the other another parallel universe, guys. They're not even trying to hide it at all. It's just out there. You know, they say they're going to do it. Let's see here. What's it say? The key building block, cosmos. Da, 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 da. Next week's experimentation is reflected to be a game changer. Okay? Now, one in every of the three strong group of physicists behind the experiment said just as many parallel sheets of paper, which are two-dimensional objects, can exist during a dimension, parallel universes can even exist in higher dimensions. What they're saying is we live in, you know, we see in 3D, right? We're in 3D, but it's pretty much a 4D. I'm not going to go into all that right now. But they're saying that this thing can see in higher dimensions. And they're saying they can get there. So, yeah, that's what I thought, Lurk. I thought you were the one who would point me out to the... So, thank you for doing that. Did you see me show you earlier? Were you here for that? You're getting hot spots around that lake again, man. All around it this time. Not just in one side. And it goes around the lake. Not just, well... Let's, I'll take you back there for a second, just so you can see it, Lurk. Okay? It's all around this. See it? So, you know, good catch the other day, by the way, man, when you pointed that out to me. Just wanted to say that. That was a awesome catch. So, yeah. I don't know, Pamela. You know, it's all a good question, guys. But this is something they're not having any kind of secretive BS behind it. They are just flat out, bam, this is what they're saying, this is what they're doing, this is what they're trying to do. You know, this is stuff we've all talked about before, that we knew that this is what they were doing. Matter of fact, they pretty much said that years ago, but they would just never come out and say, hey, da 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 da. Now, what I do find funny, this is where I guess my skepticism comes into, is the fact that oh man, I don't even know if they're telling you they're going to do this experiment next week. Okay, now see what you're looking at here, guys. First off, what does that look like? I mean, come on, I'm not going to say it, but second, do you think for 1 second that an experiment that would be so groundbreaking if it succeeds, they would tell the whole world before they tried it? I don't think so. Just my opinion. Okay? So I think what's going on here is exactly what we've been talking about for years here. And, you know, I really think that they've already done this. And they've waited till now to roll this out and tell people this is what they're doing. And they, like I said, I think they've already achieved this, and they're gonna succeed. Or if they fail, it's just going to be them telling us they failed. Now, you guys got to understand the timing of all this. Okay? We understand what's going on in our country, right? All of us do. It doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. You can tell things are not right here. And it's not going to be. It's not going to be right, guys. Now, I'm just telling you my opinion. and I'm going to give it because this is an important opinion for everybody to voice. I don't think it matters which one wins. I think once the day comes in a couple weeks, that special Tuesday in November, nothing's going to be decided that day, number one. Number two, it ain't going to matter what the decision is because things are going to go nuts. So you can just take that one to the bank. That's my opinion, okay? I hope and I'm still praying every day that it doesn't happen that way. Okay? I think, God can intervene and it could all stop. But He also gave us a brain and we should use it. And, I always fall back to Occam's razor when I don't know the answer to something. And those that don't know what Occam's razor is, usually whatever the first simplest explanation of something is, usually that's what it ends up being. Okay? There's a whole lot of math and a whole lot of philosophy and a whole lot of science behind that, but essentially that's what it means. It's called Occam's razor. It was Occam. I can't remember what his first name was. Something he came up with, but it's true. Okay? Not, Occam's razor isn't 100%, but I really think that at some level, guys, that this is not all this stuff happening at once. Why would they do this, number one, during a pandemic, if it's such a thing? Just saying. 1 week prior to the decision our country is going to make for the leader of the free world, which affects the whole world more than any other position. And then everything else that's going around. Everything. We're talking about upticks here and everything in space weather. All these things are starting to show up and it's all happening at once. When's this CERN thing supposed to happen? Next week. I'm not sure if it gives us a date. This is something else too, guys. Check this out. We predict that gravity can leak into extra dimensions. Ain't that crazy? And if it does, then miniature black holes are produced at the LHC. I'm not even going to go into that. Such a model may be tested by the detection of many black holes at the LHC. So, listen, man. They're playing with fire here, guys. And I think we all know it. When, LHC is Large Hadron Collider, is what that stands for. Okay? So, this is what we've been talking about for a minute. We've been saying, hey, they're detecting, they're talking about, they're creating black holes, guys. That's what they're doing. So, wow. And that stuff I showed you yesterday with the Chinese and the laser beams and stuff, they're firing a laser that's so fast, it's 1/1,000,000th of a second, number one. Number two, it's 1,000 times the power that every global electrical grid has combined. So you tell me, what's going on? I don't think any of us have the whole answer. I think at this point, a lot of us are probably even more confused than we were at the beginning. Because there are so many possibilities and so many things going on all at once. And that's by design. I'm telling you, it's by design. They want us confused. That's what they want. Yeah, exactly. The real me, Carrie. Idiots shouldn't play with things they don't fully understand. None of us can say 100% what's going on here. Nobody can. I don't care who you are. If you want to say that you got the complete 100% answer about this, I'm going to call you a liar. That's exactly what I'm going to call you. Because that's what you are. because you don't know 100% what's going on here. Nobody does. And if you have that kind of knowledge, well, you're in the wrong position in my chat. Because, I mean, my goodness, you should be somewhere else. So, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, Pamela, exactly. So, I thought this was like, wow. And then that's why I went through all the space weather first, because I wanted you guys to, like, see this one last. This is big time stuff. They're trying to make contact with parallel universe in days. They don't, listen guys, they're not going to come out and say this if they think there's a chance, number one, of failure. So that's why I think that this has already happened. They're just going to reproduce something they've already done. Either that or the whole thing is a lie. So who knows? Regardless, we can't stop any of it. We can't control any of it. So we shouldn't fear any of it. We should just be aware, understand what's going on around us, prepare, pray, and be there for each other. That's it. That's all we can do. After that, what else matters? Nothing. Nothing does. And that's what I'm trying to say, guys. And I've been saying, I've noticed it for the past, a little over a year. You can see things slowly ramping up. Now everything is coming to a head. And it's not just one section of whatever we're talking about here on the internet. It's everything. Everything is getting to the height, to its climax at the same time. So if that's what's going on all at the same time, I don't know, I don't know what else to say. And that's why I'm here. That's why Jeff does what Jeff does. That's why Monty Mark's doing what MP Ward, everybody in here, guys, that's why we're doing what we're doing. It's so we can be there for each other. It's so we can do what we can to try to understand at least that either, hey, we're being confused on purpose or what. But it's all, bam. It really is. It's all coming together all at once. And, I think we all have to understand that. Whatever your belief is, whatever your belief system, any of that, I don't think anybody could stand back and look at the whole picture right now and say that they cannot feel or see something getting ready to happen. In a big way. Things are changing, guys. And this is why we've been doing what we've been doing. And I have to say, there is no sense in being scared. And that's why I don't typically talk about subjects like this, because it does tend to scare people. That's not my goal. My goal is to add awareness to get away from the fear. Like I said multiple times, think back in your life when you were the most scared. It's probably going to be a time where somebody jumped out from a corner from you and scared you, shock scared you. Why did it scare you so bad? Well, you didn't know that person was there. It was the fear of the unknown that became known in a split second. So people that are in the dark, the sheeple that are walking around this planet, when this thing pops off, they're not going to make the right decisions. People like us that are listening to this thing and looking at the whole picture are going to be able to understand, hey, listen, this is actually what we've been talking about, and now I kind of have an idea what I should be doing. So that's where, people say that we fearmonger and stuff on channels like this, and it's not what we're doing. It's actually the opposite. And I've been telling you guys for a very long time, it's almost impossible to put a positive spin on the information you get here on my channel. It's hard. And I try to do it in the lightest way that I can. But most of the time, I can't get very far with that without getting pretty dark, like right here. And that's why I take you guys over to Mark Pyre's channel and others like him, because that's the break that we all need. That's what we need. Mike and Cindy over Evolutionary Energy Arts. Jeff, we're all trying to get it there in a positive way. We don't want to scare people. And it is frustrating for those of us, like I said, Jeff's in here, me and Jeff and Hillbilly, everybody. Sometimes there's just no other way to do it but just to say what it is. But in the end, that might scare you at the beginning, but the end product of that is being aware of it, and you're not as scared when it actually happens. And you're able to protect your family. You're able to do this. You're able to do this because you got some sort of an idea, because you've already been thinking about it. The people that are just oblivious, walking around, not even knowing what's going on, those are the guys that are going to freak out, and they'll make bad decisions. So that's all I'll say about that. I know I kind of went on a rant there, but that's why I saved this for last, because I knew, it was just, when I seen this, I was like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? And this is what we said for a long time. When they start coming out telling us that they're actually doing this stuff, when they just come out and say it right out in front of us, that's when you need to look up, because stuff's getting ready to happen. And then when you got this, plus all the other stuff I just showed you, plus the geopolitical environment, plus all the religious unrest, all that kind of stuff, guys, it's all pointing, bam, 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 bam. It's all happening at once. And I really hope and I pray every day that everybody is going to be okay, especially those that listen to me, and the people that I don't. That's why I allow people that come in here in my chat or whatever, and they want to come, back at me. I want them here. Why? Well, because maybe, just maybe, we can reach one of them. That's why I let them attack me. I'm not going to let them attack you, because you guys aren't here for that. But if they want to come at me, they can. And I leave them here so, maybe they'll get in contact with somebody in the chat. Maybe somebody will try to talk to them for a second or whatever. But let me tell you, it's already happened a couple times where people have said really nasty stuff over here in the chat, but they end up coming back. And they're still listening. Then they start calming down a little bit, and then even two of them that I know of, I'm not going to say who, they've emailed me and said, hey, I'm sorry I did that, and now I'm looking at what you're doing, and it's fine. This is really what, that's happened twice now. I don't mention that because it's not what I'm doing. You know what I mean? But that's actually happened. And I say that, all of that, just to let you guys know, that's why I let those kinds of people in here. What did our Savior say? You don't go into the house of the, of the saved to save them. You go into the house of the sinner. So let them come in here. I'm not saying they're sinners. I'm just saying let those people that are trying to cause problems, you can let them in here. Unless they're vulgar or attacking you guys or another creator. I don't care who that creator is, by the way. But, content creator is what I'm saying. Even if you guys know I don't care for that content creator, they can stay. But if they attack that person, even those people, they got to be timed out or whatever, and then eventually just ask them to quit. But, so yeah, guys. Hey, Becca, what's up, Ricky? Thanks, Ken. I appreciate that. We've been doing this for a while now. I just don't know, I try not to go this deep. I really do. I think you guys have seen me make that effort to not go real deep with all this, because at some level, sometimes this turns people off. But at this point in time and what's going on, I can't just sit back and just not say nothing. I couldn't do that. I just can't. I can't do that to myself or to you guys. Just can't. Thanks, Jamie. I appreciate that. Guys, I'm not. I never intended to do any of this, and I've told everybody my story, but I kind of got into this in a really crazy way. I was sending all my information over to a lot of other content creators. Well, Jeff was one of them, I think. And, Jeff and Scott and Steve Olson and everybody else. And it got to the point where the stuff I was sending, was taking so long to upload and to get them over to them, and they didn't want to take the time to download because they didn't have the time. So I started posting on my video. I would just post it on my channel and tell them and send them a link. That's how I got started, guys. And eventually I just started doing, whatever there, So, yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. Oh, no, we got people getting timed out, huh? Okay. It happens. But yeah, guys. Thanks, Jeff. I appreciate it, man. Yep. Well, thanks, Jeff. I appreciate that, dude. I mean, guys, you guys need to go check him out. He's in my featured list. Matter of fact, I think I got him on my ticker here at the bottom. Him and Scott. That's where I go, guys. That's my base, man. It really is. And that's why I try to support and do what they did for me for others. I wouldn't be, like I said, I wouldn't be here doing any of this if it wasn't for Scott and for Jeff and other people like that. That just took the time. That's the one thing I can say. The ones that didn't take the time, I just got away from that. And I needed the help. I needed to understand. And Jeff and Scott especially would not let me go out there and say something that was wrong without correcting me. If I come out and did something and said something that was incorrect, I was getting told either by Jeff or by Scott. And that's why I would come back out and say, hey, bam, I'm wrong, guys. This is what it actually is. I'm sorry, and here's why. But that's why, So I just try my best to do, that for other people, And sometimes it gets people upset, but I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm not going to sit here and just not. I'm not going to be abrasive about it, but I'm going to tell you what I actually think the truth is. I wouldn't be doing anybody any good if I didn't. Nobody, including myself. Very careful. That's cool. Cool, man. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to decide, because some people may not, we might get attacked, this and that. I get it. I do. I've always, like I said, we try to be there for each other, and sometimes life just gets in the way, guys. And it's as simple as that. I wouldn't, we've all been through our stuff. You guys have heard me talk about my stuff. And that's just what it is. Because I'm pretty transparent when it comes to things like that. And I don't judge others that aren't. We just need to... So, yeah. Yeah, Axe, thank you for being here. That's cool. It really is. But yeah, it is, Jeff, do you want me to take you off the ticker, man? Is that what you're asking, man? I mean, I can, if you don't want. I don't, I don't know. I just, if you're trying to stay a little bit, I get it. Johnny Blaze, that's being disrespectful warning. Okay. Johnny Blaze, what's going on? Come on, guys, be nice in there. Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure, man. You know, I don't want to do anything you didn't want me to do. You know, I get it. So you know, I understand. I really do. So yeah, you guys got any questions? Toilet talk. Oh, Vintage, you got a bunch of chum trails out there? That's cool. Thanks, Genetic. I really appreciate that. They're married, George. So yeah. You know, guys, she is sick. You know, she's got the mercury poisoning. Can you have ice cream? Sure, man, go for it, Hilly. You guys need to go over and check Hilly out too, guys. I mean, you know, I know I say this a lot about a lot of people. Sure, man. Anytime, dude. I mean, yeah. I try to catch all. I got your videos and stuff on. I got the bell hit. That way, when you do post. Yeah, Hilly, that's it. Yeah, you're welcome. You can even have sprinkles if you want. Let's see here, guys. You know what? We haven't looked at that in a minute. Let me let's go over here. We can look at the near-Earth objects. Check this out, though. You guys see this? Look at all them fireballs. You guys want to know why? It's because we're in that meteor shower from Halley's Comet's debris. That's where that's coming from. So, in case everybody didn't know. Yeah, there's a lot of fireballs for one day, guys. It's the Aurorid meteor shower. We go through this, you know, it's pretty dense. You know, this is one of the more dense ones that we do pass through. But this isn't, you know, sometimes you always wonder, is it always comet trail debris, or is it something else getting snuck in there too? I think it's a lot of it, you know. I think it's both. But to talk about this, now see, I didn't notice this one yesterday, guys. So what we're going to do, let me tell you guys how to check this, okay? This is the near-Earth object list. Now, we talked about the one on December 1st that's going to be 0.1 lunar distance away. So what happens is when they see these things, they post them here. How can you tell when it got posted? Well, if you look over here, you see the dates? They always put the date in front of it when it was discovered. 2020 is when you're going to see over here the majority of the time. You're going to see some that were being tracked. A lot of the reason is our technology is getting better. They're looking at a bigger chunk of the sky, all that kind of thing, right? But we still miss stuff, and a lot of stuff actually. But this one here, I don't remember seeing it yesterday. So I'm going to show you guys how to check this. See, it says October 17th, right? 1.3, 11.1. You guys go up here to the top of spaceweather.com. You change the date. See the archive dates here? If you change this date, let's just go back 2 days. And hit view. It's going to take you back to the web page 2 days ago. You just scroll down and look, guys. Look. It's not there. So, it was not there. They just discovered that probably today. Now look, 21 fireballs that day. I'm going to change this to... We'll change it to the 13th. Hit view. On the 13th, there were only 8. Okay? But then we enter the Ornid, now if we go down here and look for 2017, or October 17th, they discovered this yesterday. That's when that asteroid was discovered. Now, it's moving at 11.1 kilometers a second. Okay? That isn't extremely fast. It's not real slow. It's kind of in the middle. But it is a rather small one. 11 meters in diameter. You guys can look. You can kind of get an average just by looking over here. But that's how you guys check. All you got to do is go up here. Change this date. We'll go back to the 14th where we're at today. Hit view. And it'll take you right back to this web page. Now look. We go from 7 yesterday to 42 today. Or 8. 8 to 42. It's crazy. What's the odds of a solar event taking out the... Oh, man. I don't even want to put an odd on that, Andy. I will say this. If we catch a big X flare, like a Carrington event type of thing, you wouldn't want to be here. It wouldn't the power would just go out, guys. Okay? But people think, oh, power's out, so what? That kind of thing. Well, go read up on that. They say that if the power goes out like that, thanks, Sparky, I appreciate that, man. If the power goes out, 90% of the population no longer is here. So, yeah. You take that for whatever it's worth. Yeah, Peg, guys, listen. And I think, even Sparky will probably back me up on this. He's an electrician, guys. Listen. If we get a CME or more likely a big solar flare, because remember, a solar flare gets here in like 8 minutes. We're not going to have any kind of warning. Now, a big CME can do the same thing too, but usually the big ones, both happens. Usually you get a big X-class flare, and then a CME comes with it. But it takes it, 3, 4, 5 days to get here. Yeah, Ricky's speaking some good knowledge there. Homeland Security says you need 6 months of food. Says she thinks 12 is better. Yes, I actually I agree with that. Guys, and people ask me, how much am I prepared? Let me tell you how much I'm prepared. I'm prepared enough to where I'm comfortable. Whatever level that is for you is what you need to do. Okay? Don't try to do anything less or anything more because it ain't going to be right for you. Right? Listen to other people's advice if you want to know what prepping materials you need, any of that kind of stuff. There's a lot of places to get that information. Matter of fact, I think, Rick, don't you do some of that? Smoky Mountain gal in here? Yeah, I think she does too. But yeah. Yeah, you're right, Sparky. And that's going to be our role, guys, when this stuff happens. You guys know that, right? We're going to have to take up, yes, Jeff speaking complete. That's completely 100% yes. Guys, it's like I said earlier on in my stream here. It doesn't matter who wins that. Okay? You see where I'm pointing at here? It doesn't matter who wins that. Because the other side ain't going to like it. Do you think there could be a harmful amount of iron oxide harmful to us? I don't know that that's actually what's going on with that particular thing there you just said. Obviously, I think that, iron oxide is definitely part of the equation because we've seen it. When you get red rain, you got to understand where that's coming from, right? Some of it can be coming from, sand that gets blown up, and that is part of it, because that is a natural thing that happens, but it's not the whole thing. We've often, theorized about the iron oxide, and that's a big that's a big subject. Hey, Joanna, how you doing? Well, I'd like to say that I'm feeling a lot better, but I'm really not, guys. I know I'm kind of talking kind of fast here. That's why I do that when I get sick. Yeah, I was gonna say American. What did I've never seen American Defender say anything wrong. Was it an accident, George? Not sure. I don't know. But yeah, I trust my mods. Just so you know, okay. They're not going to do anything that doesn't need done, and I really believe that. And if you think you've been timed out or booted for something wrong, just email me, and we'll talk about it. We can give, even if you've made a mistake or whatever, or if you said something that was pretty bad and you didn't really mean to like be like that about it, or you're just sorry you did it. You can email me. We'll give second chances. It's not a big deal. So, oh, you dropped your phone, George? Oh crap! American Defender, you didn't get timed out on purpose. That was an accident. That's happened. That happens, guys. I can tell you right now, when I'm modding over there on Scott's channel, Planet X News, woo wee, my finger gets tired. Jeff can relate to that. Man, it does. Yeah, you're right. Increased lightning storms, most definitely. Probably has a little bit of conductivity through in the atmosphere, allows that electricity to go through. But yeah, guys, there's so many things going on right now, and that is, that was awesome. Lightning fact, wasn't it? That's what I'm saying, guys. Go check him out, Jeff P. You guys know who he is. You're watching me, right? Hopefully, I would think most people most people come to me through people like Jeff and Scott. That's what it is. But yeah. It's okay, George. Don't worry about it. Seriously. It was American Defender. Is that who it was? Hopefully he didn't leave. If he did, it's not your fault. It's an accident. Don't worry about it, George. Okay? So, yeah. Thanks, man. Appreciate that, Traveler. Really do. Yeah, all that stuff, guys. Hillbilly, you're killing me, man. George, you gotta wear 2 masks tomorrow. That's your punishment. And that, guys, we've talked about all the COV stuff and all that stuff here. And it gets to be, again, it's a very polarized conversation. It really is. And trying to get somebody to understand what you're saying when they're completely they're not going to hear what you're saying because they're so far the other way. And, at that point, what do? How do we get to those people? Well, the way that I do it, I back off a little bit and I'll sow a seed. And I'm still nice to those people. Okay? And I'll keep just watering that a little bit every time I hear her talk to them. It ain't got to be like over the head or anything like that. We don't have to be aggressive car salesmen. You know what I mean? Because you're not going to change anybody's mind by doing that. That's just what I'm saying. If you didn't get your information from the car salesman, then when he's trying to give you that information, he's got to understand he can't talk to you stupid. You know what I mean? Somebody talks to me stupid, I just shut completely down. I'll sit there and act like I'm listening, but it'll go in one ear and right out the other. Yeah, there's Jeff's channel link, guys. So, that's how Justin, yeah. That's how I look at it sometimes. That's what these guys act like sometimes. They refuse to see anybody else's whatever, you know? But yeah. So, yeah. But yeah. Goofy. Oh, but yeah, guys, let's see here. Yeah, free speech, you said it right on. Yep. That's right. You know, you gotta, you know, listen, guys, let me say this. If you know, just put your, like, flip the script on yourself. If somebody walked up to you and started just smacking you in the head with all this information and refused to hear anything you had to say, you know, what would you do? You do one of two things. You would stand there and act like you're listening and smile, or you would literally just turn and walk away. Cool, Christy. Yeah, guys, anybody that's not subbed over at Jeff, go do it, guys. Go do it. But yeah. You agree with me? Yeah, yeah. I just, alright, I feel so out of the loop. Can someone send me a link? What you want? Oh, you want a link to Jeff's channel? Hey, Jeff, go ahead and drop your link again, man. Whoa, Smoky Mountain. You see that? Whatever you said there, Google didn't like it. Wow. We don't see that very often, guys. The Google moderator team axed that one. You guys see that? We don't see that very often. So whatever you said must have been on point. Here, we'll do this real quick. Hold on. This is Jeff's channel, guys. You guys can scroll down through here and check him out. You guys want to know anything about, you know, well, there's one of the live streams we did. It's been like a year ago. But yeah, guys, you want to know anything at all about, you know, sun simulation and all that? He's the man to go to. Plus a lot more other stuff too. He does good work, guys. Go check him out. Yeah, Jeff, you're already dropping your link, right? So I don't need to do it. It says report or block. Here, let me do something here real quick then. Let's do this. Well, I tell you what. Sometimes when you get that, watch this. Sometimes I'll go into their video.
Hello, everyone. This is Jeff.
There's his voice. I'll go into one of their videos and I'll copy it. Sometimes the algorithm, for whatever reason, will block the channel name. I don't know why, but it does that. It's stupid. I don't know why it does it, but here's a link to one of his videos. If you guys go over there, then you can get to his channel from there. If it's keeping you from getting there, it does do it sometimes, guys. So it really does. Let's back this up a little bit. We'll check out. Those are all his videos, guys. He does really good work. You know, look at all this stuff. I mean, yeah. He'll break that sun simulation down right down to the technical where you guys will understand it. And it's he puts it out there in a way where you can understand it. It doesn't have to be, you know, you don't have to have a degree to understand what's going on. They're blocking you, huh? Wow. Cool. Yeah, guys, if you ever in somebody's chat, and you go, and they give you a link to their channel, and it'll do that to you. Ask them to put a link to one of their videos. Sometimes that'll get you into, like, it'll go around the algorithm somehow. I don't know why. Jeff P is the name of his channel, guys. Is it Jeff P, Nibiru Watcher still? Jeff? I can't remember. Well, his name's right there. Yeah, it's Jeff P. That's the name of the channel. Yeah, Smoky Mountain, whatever you said, Google didn't like it. All right, Hilly, take care, bud. Thanks for being here, man. Yes, don't forget to pray, guys. Don't forget to pray. Also, guys, you guys know I go over here every night. Oops, wrong one. I go over here every night. He's not live right now, but he will be here in a few minutes, guys. Mark Pyers, you guys got to go over here and check it out. You guys want to laugh? You guys want positivity? You need a break from all the crap I just got through telling you? Go over here. Real Talk Family Jam, baby. We're going to be over there later on tonight. What I will do is, again,
one day, one day, one day, one day is all it takes to love. One day, one day, one day, one day is all it takes to love.
But that's what he does, guys. There's his link. Guys, you guys need to. Oh, you're welcome, Jerome. Come over here, guys, to Mark's channel here in a little while. He'll be live, okay? I'm telling you guys, you won't regret it. See you, Andy. Guys, I am going to take off too, guys. So, hey, Smoky Mountain, email me. I want to know what you said. Oh, goodness. Here's my email. I'm going to drop my email. Hey, Becca, thanks for being here, guys. I can't believe that. That's only like the second time that I've seen that happen. Yeah, go ahead and email it to me because it might block it again. I don't know why. His channel's not available? Jeff, are you hearing that, man? I just went there. I did. I put the link in the chat. Wow. Cool, guys. Yeah, man, that's strange. She wasn't the only one that said it. Multiple people went over and tried to give you a sub. Other people came back and said they could. That is weird. Okay, Lisa Marie, cool. Sweet. All right, Mark, Athene, good to see you guys. Guys, I am going to go ahead and take off. Appreciate y'all coming by, stopping in. I know it's kind of an earlier one, but I did do, I was trying to give you guys some, some pretty cool information there, especially about the CERN thing and everything else. So, appreciate everybody, all my mods, everybody else has been here. So, God bless. Yahuwah saves, and